78% of suicide rates worldwide are men. What can we do to help them? Compliments and hugs. Stop telling them to suck it up and be a man. Just show men some goddamn affection and compassion. Drop this whole thing about men not being able to have/express emotions. Tell a guy he matters once in a while, so maybe he'll have one more reason to stay. It's really not that hard to just be kind. A lot of men in this era are forced to carry the burdens of the wicked. Past oppressors and more recent predators are casting a dark cloud on our gender in whole. Unfortunately, most suicides are depression-related, not someone who feels they've done so much harm to the world they have to kill themselves, with a few exceptions. If you know someone feeling alone, overwhelmed, or losing hope for tomorrow, just being an objective goes a long way. Stop pretending like the things that negatively affect them don't matter. Rape is considered by many to be something that can only happen to women. Men are expected to not show emotion. Men are expected to not hurt. Men are expected to be assertive when seeking out relationships, and oftentimes mocked for not doing so. In general, be supportive. Destroy toxic masculinity by encouraging young boys and men to express their feelings and reach out for support when it would be helpful to them. Encourage them to form close bonds of friendship with people of all genders. Stop pressuring them to be stoic and deny their humanity. Probably provide better mental health care. I think I heard on Reddit somewhere that women with depression have similar suicide attempts, but men tend to execute their attempts more often. May not be as one-sided as your post seems to suspect. Again, this is literally something in the back of my mind that your post reminded me of. No facts or sources here. If anyone can back it up or throw it down, I'm fine with either. Stop blaming them for all of women's and minorities' problems. Deleted. Make cyanide readily available in convenience stores. We definitely shouldn't raise them to keep their emotions to themselves, and to respect only women, when women are raised without a mind for men. Just this morning I heard one of my classmates say that when she carries, she wants no boys, because she thinks they are disgusting creatures. Bring back family values. It's overall good for society, and it gives men something to work for and is more attainable when society encourages it more heavily. In recent years, family values have melted away to individualism, and people are finding themselves individually uncomfortable. Clinical psychologist here, working largely with men. In my experience, the level of emotional intelligence and literacy is often dishearteningly low. Many would say one of the major problems with Western form of masculinity is unwillingness to express emotion and vulnerability. While that's true, the bigger issue is that many men do not have the words for what is going on with them internally. This level of confusion is incredibly isolating and shameful for many men. The solution? I would argue it starts at childhood. Teach your boys the words for their emotions, as well as the link between their feelings, their thoughts, physical sensations, and their behavior. A better grasp of this leads to a better tolerance of the discomfort, and higher likelihood of understand what's going on inside them, or at least reaching to others to help them figure it out, knowing it's acceptable to do so. Tell them it's okay to cry. Give them more variety in terms of skincare and wellness, and even clothing options and hobbies. Women dominate a lot of self-care activities that can be really beneficial for men too. We need to make self-care more important for everyone. I haven't had a good hug in a long time. Honestly, I think I've had a gun in my mouth more than I've had hugs in the last 2 years. Men needs hugs. In our world, men are finding it harder and harder to find a purpose. What you can do is stop demonizing masculinity and start nurturing healthy masculinity. More feminism. Pay me a livable wage and make therapists more readily available. Stability is all I ask for. We all don't have an anchor, and carrying the burden of growing up is fucking difficult. Make it more socially acceptable for men to be emotional and talk about their problems. Remove the stigma of having feelings. It doesn't make somebody less of a man to be able to express their emotions and cry. I never understood that. They shouldn't be expected to just be stoic and supportive 24/7, they need support as well. No other gender is expected to stuff their feelings, so why did we decide men should? Check in with them if they start to withdraw. Reaching out for help is hard to do when in that headspace. Notice if they start cancelling plans, giving stuff away, not leaving the house, taking care of themselves, have disordered eating, or are more angry than usual. Everybody deserves TLC, so let's give some to our boys. Tell them they're okay. You don't have to drive a truck or build woodsheds or like sports. Men internalize their emotions. You see shit about negative body image everywhere for women, but everyone ignores men because we don't talk about our feelings. You don't have to conform to anyone else's image to be a man. Some women love to tell men what a man is, and you hear it often enough, if not necessarily directed at you, that you feel like you don't measure up. Bad news is you don't, because people like that will always have a gripe. Good news is you don't have to, because you are you and fuck that other guy. Don't put others on a pedestal and say I want to be like that person. For one thing, who you envision them as and who they actually are different things. For another, you have no idea what advantages they had or difficulties they had to overcome to be who they are. You are on your own journey. You can use some qualities as a guide for what direction you want to head, but don't make your image of someone else be your end point. Compliment us. Can't remember the last time I got a compliment. Hug. Not bash them about sharing their feelings. Honestly, just a hug will help so much. Stop oppressing men from having feelings and being able to express them. I think that is a leading reason for why men commit suicide. They are feeling depressed and don't know what to do, and they can't talk to anybody about it because it won't be seen as manly. Tell them that you are allowed to open up about your feelings. You should be able to be open about your feelings no matter your gender or anything else. Stopping the hostile environment for men to express themselves or have feelings helps. As a dude that suffers with severe anxiety and depression, I find it harder than anything to find a person to talk to. I mostly get vibes from people and straight up told sometimes to man up or suck it up, get over it act. I mostly keep it bottled up until my brain shatters and am back on suppressants, aka depression pills. Fix the stigma about being strong and keeping emotions to themselves. It's okay to talk and share your feelings. Random acts of kindness. Smiling can do wonders to somebody's rough day. Get rid of the whole bullshit ideals with toxic masculinity. Let men be who they want to be and let them define themselves rather than confine them by telling them to act in certain ways from birth, or else they're not a man or they're pussies. Not living up to that shitty expectation for most men would be enough for them to think they've failed in life. One of the expectations from this is that to be a man they have go through whatever troubles them and just bear it instead of telling someone. In those cases the best thing to do would be to tell someone close or a professional so you can talk about it and get through it. Toxic masculinity denies most men that necessity. Simply put, if you're only defined by someone else, you're their puppet. Cut the thread and be yourself. True gender neutrality and lessen the pressure of being a man. Tell them to hang on. Unfuck economy and lack of well-paid jobs. Stop the fucking wars. Stop the fuckers who get rich from making the others' lives worse. It's not like I have a plan to do it or anything, but I completely know which subway station I'd jump in front of a train if I needed to. Encourage men to talk about how they feel instead of society's stigma that men should repress their feelings. Help them show their emotions. English is not my first language, sorry. Teach young boys that it is okay to cry and talk about feeling. I go to an high school, and in that high school girls are generally more open with their feelings than boys. Boys usually cry less, aren't open with their feelings, and are generally more depressed than the girls in my school. Not making us feel ashamed or less of a man for having feelings. I've been dumped more than once for being depressed. These are completions, not attempts, right? Drugs. More drugs always helps. I don't know about other countries, but in the US, women attempt suicide about 3x as much as men. This fact shouldn't be overlooked just because they don't succeed as much. I'm not saying this to derail the conversation, I'm bringing it up because I don't think suicide is a gendered issue. Everyone is miserable, so it's not as easy as just changing the culture and letting men cry. That'll certainly help, but even as we shift more towards letting men express themselves, there's not a decrease in suicides. If I'm not wrong, suicide rates are increasing despite the decrease in stigma around mental illness. Our modern lifestyles are fucked up. We have no money, we have pointless jobs, we work 5 days a week if not more, we have no stability in our lives, nothing to look forward to. Everything is about money these days. This is a cultural and economic issue. The real way we can help men is by increasing social support programs and making life easier for people.